Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. My name is Dom Master Mateo. That is Mike Huddie. You can see his screen. He's out driving around because once he starts his gallivanting, he never stops. He's on the move. He's rocking and rolling, moving around, and that's what he's doing right now. I think he was out grabbing a warm coffee and gonna head back, get ready for his webinar at 9:15 a.m. with all you four-leaf clovers. Looking forward to that one. I think Kyle's going to join as well, so a little live trading out of the gate. Excited for that one. We got Luke in the room, Sly Cosine, Wayne, Shelly, Mash for Fun. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. It is Friday. It is the 14th day of March, year of our Lord 2025. It's a no meat day for all you Catholics out there. So we're roughing it up, having salads and eggs. We can have fish. But interesting week. You know, Huddy and I go back and forth in the argument of is the market good? Is the market bad? Is it hot? Is it cold? I still think the overall point there is, you got to be good all the time. Well, you don't control the market. All you do is control you. So control you a little bit better. And I hope you guys controlled you this week a whole lot. We had some decent opportunities. I know in the first Green Day space, we had a big breakout yesterday on a former runner that changed ticker names. A little nuances there. I'm going to do a video lesson for all you four-leaf clovers on HMR from the big trade yesterday. That was a nice one. I know Huddy was rocking and rolling with the gap and craps earlier this week. I don't know if he traded yesterday. Market still not I don't think it's at the same price it was at on Monday or Tuesday. So we're in this, maybe putting a bottom in. I don't know. Maybe setting up to go lower or whatever it is. I haven't seen any green candles there, but there was some opportunity this week. Looking forward to the future. Hoping that we get some new opportunities going to next week, but we're halfway done with March. How do we feel, Huddy?
Hey, that was a great intro, Dom. So I'm currently in Palm Springs. I'm feeling good. I'm kind of making my way towards the boot camp and doing a little 14-day trip in Palm Springs and Los Angeles. For you guys that don't know, I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm visiting a lot of family and friends and such like that. That does mean earlier wake-ups for me, so it's 5:59 a.m. It's absolutely brutal. Reminds me of my first 4 years of trading where I was doing this time zone. I did go get an iced coffee today. You almost nailed it.
I thought you said it was chilly.
Yeah. It is chilly, but rain or shine, we get iced coffee. That's not true. When it's like 30, hot. That's cycle if you get cold in that.
Can we get an iced coffee next week?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can. I got a good flavor for you.
Nice.
I was on the plane yesterday. It's nice 6 hours. I was studying. I was watching some videos to kind of elevate my game. I'm trying to get into like the exponential bet sizing type of conversation with the gap and craps. I want to get to the next level. They're kind of like my easy money trades, and I think that I can push it on some of them. I'm starting to identify an A, a B, a C, or a D, and an F type of trades for my systems, and I'm really excited about that endeavor. It might be a topic for me at the boot camp as well. If you guys are there, we'll talk about it. I was also on the plane. I was reflecting about how Dom's always right, and this is a slow market. It's slow. There was like nothing. Yes, I mean, my gap and craps come around every day, so that's nice. It's got a good frequency, and hot market or cold market, they're there. But it was certainly slow. The watch list is dead. I still stand by my point that there is exceptional opportunity within a slow market, and I think that's why I say Dom and I consistently agree, because I'm like, it's slow, but it can get fast real quick. Like, Tesla had an amazing bounce. HMR had a great breakout, right? And like, you have to be there. You can't just be like, oh, slow market. Like, I'm going to adapt and avoid these tickers if it's my pattern. You still have to take the trades if they're there, if they fit your criteria or whatever it is. But I think you're right. Overall, like, there's nothing on watch lists. It's like barren out there. and I hope that changes, because I like other markets better.
Yeah, I want there to be hopefully some plays and some action next week, at least to set us up for the live trading on Monday and Tuesday at the boot camp, to have some good, worthwhile patterns to trade and to talk about. But yeah.
No.
What?
Sorry. I was gonna say, but it was nice because I was flying yesterday and there was nothing to trade really, and so that felt good. I didn't really feel like I missed anything like as far as my patterns go that big. Again, HMR was a nice breakout.
Yeah, it's
Nailed
always
that.
nice when you're on the go and it's slow versus when you're on the go and it's fast and you're constantly like pulling out your laptop. Like, is this even smart? Should I completely ignore it? Should I make sure I'm trading? And then you get on the plane, you're like, oh, there's no Wi-Fi, and it's like,
Shout out Alaska Airlines. They have some good Wi-Fi, I will
really?
say. Yeah, that's what Kyle taught me.
Yeah, he always has said that.
They are good.
But yeah, I've always came from the perspective, and again, you guys got to realize, I like am a self-proclaimed idiot. Like, I don't know everything. I don't know how to correlate things to the overall market. I just learned what the magnetic 7 were this week, guys. Like, when I say I don't know a lot, I'm being honest. But I believe that any person can make a lot of money trading by simplifying the crap out of this game. And so whether the market's hot, whether the market's cold, whether you agree with Huddie's sentiment this week or me, I think we both end up agreeing because we're both going to take trades that fit our system. But what I really want you to do is, be a little ignorant. Like, stop looking at every headline. Stop caring what Elon Musk said or Trump said, and just follow the patterns. Like, at the end of the day, the patterns work over time. And the more often you are just taking those trades, and I really thought about this stuff more that I've looked into a lot of the data that Huddy has done on the gap and craps over the past year and a half, and just realizing the edge is in taking them. Like, there's not a whole lot of you that makes the trades better. It's a lot of just making sure you're in every opportunity that fits your criteria, whether that's a cold market, whether that's a hot market. Sure, there's periods where it's so dead, you can tighten up criteria, and it's so hot, maybe you want to increase size, but like, you will know when you're there. Like, there's not a lot of extra thinking to do about that. And you don't need to know the market's hot if you have 5 breakouts that week. You just take the 5 breakouts, and they're all working. So I think there's a lot of people want to feel like they're smart and they know what they're doing. I'm here to say you don't have to know anything. I'm a pretty smart guy in general, but when it comes to the market, like when we're hanging out and it's Huddy, Kyle, and Jack Kellogg, they're talking about investments and they're talking about wealth managers and all these fancy words, and I'm like, you guys, there's a game on. Let's watch the game.
They don't have any popcorn.
Yeah, like, okay, are you guys done with this? I thought we weren't working right now. So yeah, whatever the market is, just trade your process, and your process should be profitable in all markets. That's kind of how I feel. All right, so kind of have an interesting situation. Everyone's making fun of me. It's not the magnetic 7. I know that, but that's my new thing. I'm going to start calling it the magnetic 7 to just let you know that I'm an idiot. Sound good? All right, wonderful. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button as well. It really does a lot for the channel. Going to be coming at you very soon in the next few weeks with some more content. So you want to make sure you're tuned in. We will be posting more often, more in-depth stuff with what's going on in the market right now. So expect more uploads from us, not necessarily our 10 to 20 minute long form videos on specific lessons, but more about what's going on in the market right now. So you'll see us all week live. Every single day the market is open. You'll also catch a few extra videos from us talking about market conditions and the plays that we like. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit that button right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us as well, if that sounds cool to you. And the reason this intro is so long is because we don't have any gappers. We can hit real quick. I know yesterday me and Kyle basically just did a 15-minute webinar and answered some questions. So if you have any questions, throw them in the live chat. Questions and comments only. Concerns will be ignored. And we'll just kind of rock and roll through the next 10 minutes until that webinar starts. But BON we can hit real quick. I don't know if you already did the research. I'm getting a lot of people saying China scam, China pump. X is China stock, 1.7 million float, no news. Negative 4.5 months. This is kind of a weird looking one because it is red across the board. Overall risk is high. My daily chart, I can clearly see that at some point this morning it did go to 11. I don't see that. This chart doesn't start till 7 a.m. But what were your kind of initial thoughts on that, Huddy? I know you were talking about it to me before, and you were like, I'm not really interested in this one. Kind of sketch zone. You want to expand on that?
Hang on, give me 2 minutes. Go through the dilution stuff. I'll be right back.
All right. Going back to the dilution. Like I said, pretty low on cash. They could use some because they have negative 4.5 months. They got a in-process offering from 2024, end of last year, 26 mil. They have not registered, not registered, not registered. August 22 shelf with just a little bit on it. So not a ton on the dilution front there. But when I look at this stuff, there's not a ton of interest. This kind of reminds me of BTOG the other day where it went from, a gap to like $1. But I know at some point that morning it was up in the twos. And you're talking about like 17 cents to two. So that's a pretty miraculous move. And the one this morning, sub 80 cents to $11, pretty big. I wish I could see the price action. Like, again, guys, I'm an idiot. Sometimes I have the right charts on other charts that I use when I sit downstairs, but right now, hey, hi.
My thoughts. Not my thoughts. I'm just going on askedgar.io. It's a website that I use for a lot of the research that I tell you guys. So if you guys, want to do it your own, I think it's a good website, a good resource. Shout out to them. But I kind of agree with Don. There's not much analysis to be done with this one. It's just a Chinese scam that's up on no news. BTOG did this the other week. What happened afterwards? It faded quite well during market hours. Does that mean this one has to fade quite well during market hours? I think there's a little bit of sketchiness that goes along with any of these, and to each their own medicine. But I'm in the boat where, if gap and craps are my easy money trades and they have the ability to halt and go nuts and be a little bit uncontrollable, that makes it something that I'm either going to undersize and or ignore completely, because it's not like I need this one to make my week or anything like that. And I think there is a little bit of writing on the walls that you're playing with fire, and you might get burned. And everyone gets burned a couple times, and you got to learn a couple lessons. Anyone that's shorting in the pre-market, just any spike that goes up, they got burned today. They got burned on BTOG the other week. They got burned on TNON. It does tend to happen in the pre, but you also have the examples of ZYJL and a couple other ones that were earlier last year. Different price ranges, but similar floats. So I think the thing is, dilution or not, if the Chinese promoters want to do crazy things, they will. And if they want to dump it, they will. And you're playing with that kind of tetherball game. And again, to each their own. For me, I'm either going to undersize it or not play it at all. I'm leaning towards not play it at all. I've had a good week. I don't need it in my set. But that's BTOG, or that's BNON, or that's Bong.
Bong. A lot of comments about GV. This thing does not go away, huh? Quick little spike here in the pre, coming back into some levels from earlier this week, last week. It's kind of one of those charts that, I think Huddie kept alluding to when we were talking about hot versus slow market. It's there. You got massive range, right? 1 to 9. Pretty big pullback from 9s to the 4s. Big bounce, but the way it did it was in the form of an overnight gap up. So not really playable there. Maybe bounce short type of idea into recent resistance. And I'm not usually in for that type of quick move, but fade again. We're really holding all support levels and we're holding higher lows. And, here again, let me check if there's news on it. 10 minutes ago, $1 billion financing secured. Was that the initial one? Was this the one we were talking about that had the big number attached to it?
Yeah.
Visionary accelerates its battery swap layout in Hong Kong. But yeah, it's one of these charts that it's not really been playable over the past week, in my perspective. Kind of thinking at some point you're going to look at this in one morning, in a week, 2 weeks, and it's just going to be back down in the 2s or 3s. But it keeps coming back to life. On a Friday, it's kind of interesting. I would qualify this as a breakout over 960. But not out of the gate. I need to see proof. I need to see some volume. I don't mind buying the ones that are moving in pre-market around key daily levels that have happened during regular market hours. But I got to see volume. Even the first green day the other day was on quite low volume. But if we're talking about a big breakout here, I'd want to be seeing 50 plus million kind of minimum. And I need to see some sort of indicator that we're on the way to doing that. So far, 4 million. We're talking about 10 or 15 minutes of trading so far this morning. So we'll see. But again, I think the most important thing when it comes to these markets where we can't decide if it's dead, if it's slow, if it's lukewarm, if it's hot. I don't think it's hot, but I think it's just having the right stocks on watch, making sure that you are constantly scanning, constantly going through the Clover room, and making sure that you're up to date on anything that is moving. Because there are, and this is what I think Huddie's point is, like, there is stuff moving right now. And whether or not it's a pattern for you, like maybe you don't short gap covers, maybe you don't buy recent runners like HMR, but like there is stuff moving 50, 100, 200% over the course of a day or three. And maybe you have to be a little bit more proactive in these times to make sure that you're on top of it, because missed trades during a slower market, I think those ones, the regret level really goes up for people, because it's like, oh my gosh, there was my week. Oh, there was my month, whatever it is. And you were twiddling your thumbs because, you think it's super slow. But having the right stocks on watch, making sure that you're paying attention, tune into shows like this, because maybe if you didn't, you wouldn't have known that GV is moving today. Maybe there's a play for you there today. I don't know if there is for me, but I do want to know that it's moving again, that it's potentially in play on a Friday. All right. People are also saying the borrows are quite expensive on GV. Trade Floor says, Huddie, do you think Bond can ZYJL? You guys, I'm not going to speak for Huddie, but like, you know how many China scams we see every single week or two? Like, you can't play that game. Tell them why, Huddie.
I just don't know. I don't know.
How do I think it can?
Is it in the realm of like 1% possibility? Yeah. That's what I would say. There's a possibility that it's like if you guys seen Oppenheimer, right? Like when they nuked the bomb and they're like, well, the possibility is not zero that every particle in the world just blows up and we all just nuke ourselves. It's not zero.
Yeah, but I mean, if your goal is to play it for that, that's a 99% type of not going to work situation. I don't know, that's truly hunting unicorns, if you ask me. You're talking like that's an example we bring up as like a level 7 piece of turd. Like we don't get past level 6 very often. Like there's not a lot that are up in that category. I don't know what lesson I'm trying to teach, but it's like, does it matter? Like trade your trade on it. Like you should never be looking for ZYJL. Like that's not sustainable. You're not gonna make it in the long run. But it does fit the criteria of what that was, right? China and sketchy. But it isn't. Yeah. We see a ton that fail that are China and sketchy.
Yeah, we do.
If it was that easy, I would have been buying all of them during 2022. All right, couple last stickers and we'll get out of here. Any third eye interest in QBTS? I did see these quantums were bouncing back and kind of interesting after kind of a lull period where they weren't really active after the big gap downs. Not a ton. I'd rather it set up more tight. This is day 4 now. 4s to the 7s. Let's just take a quick look. What my brain thinks is, what are the other ones doing? QBT not really bouncing off its lows. QMCO not really bouncing off its lows. RGTI really hasn't gotten going. So what was the one they said? QBTS, kind of weird that was kind of the mid-range lagger one. A lot closer to highs. So it will definitely probably go into my awareness, maybe on a back burner watch list. But in terms of doing something with it today, no. Oh, you wrote consolidates a few, then breaks out next week. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, we're not talking about small cap turds here. This is, trades a lot of volume every day. There is a market for it, but maybe kind of fits into that BBAI breakout type of trade that I took a couple weeks ago.
I think right now it's in no man's land.
Yeah, but it's interesting to note at this point, but not do anything.
But like I don't consider the $7 or $8 level like going to be a breakout. Like if it consolidated at 8, I'm not saying like, oh, breakout with the 1141 resistance overhead. I don't think that's going to be a high odds setup.
Yeah. All right. Last question for Heidi. RGC first red day, and then you'll go to his. What is that?
Sorry.
Let me guess. Earnings. Good earnings.
Not a first red day.
Oh no, just good news. Oh, there's no news. Oh, weird. Yeah. Any more on that?
I mean, look. First red days for me are usually a multi-day run type of scenario, so I don't really do the one and dones. So that's like the main thing right there. It already doesn't fit the criteria, and just the way that this thing ran, it was like very illiquid on the way up. And I don't know. I wasn't really watching yesterday, but this is just not something I really want to touch. It just feels like it's rigged.
Oh, I know this one from yesterday. This was the other runner that was kind of. I'm kind of usually in the same boat. I'm just against shorting day one runners because unless they're like crazy, like 4 to 30, 4 to 50. Yeah, I don't have another good reason besides I really like to learn the stock's behavior. I really like people to get squeezed on a multi-day level, and I like red-green as a trigger or green-red. So the fact that we don't have any of those here, and I'm just kind of hoping that today it being down 13% means it's going back to where it came from. But I do know that I've seen a lot of people that do. If I would look into it, like this type of idea, maybe it's not for us, but I don't think like it was up 200% plus yesterday. It's a big move, just not necessarily for us.
All
All right,
we gotta get out of here.
We're gonna go to the webinar for Kyle and Huddie right now. If you want access to that, you can do it really quick. If you want access, head on over to clovertrade.io and get signed up for 4Leaf. That will get you access to everything that we include as far as webinars, live in person, the archive webinars, video lessons, trade alerts, watch list, all that good stuff. So get signed up. Come hang out with us on a day-to-day basis. But if not, have a wonderful weekend. We will see you Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. for another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we appreciate you guys being